What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jae, and guys, today I've got something new for you. I've got perhaps a new series. We'll find out. We'll see if we make it through this one. If y'all like it, we'll do it. But currently, I am very caffeinated. This is my cup of coffee that I've been drinking, and I'm a little scared, if I'm being completely honest. So guys, today, if you don't know, if you've only recently just joined my channel, let me drink more caffeine because I need it, obviously. Maybe you've been with me for a while, maybe you haven't, but I used to do a lot of mukbangs. And today I've got a very special mukbang for you because it's been like months since I've done a mukbang. So today, before I get into the food, first let me tell you, other than being caffeinated and scared, I was doing the notes for this episode and I really thought that there was a chance that this story isn't real, and I think it might be real. And now I'm really caffeinated and I'm really scared. Like, genuinely might be scared. Oh God, why do I do this in the solitude of my house? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the food that I have today. So today I made Budae Jiggae. I don't know if is that how you say it? It's Korean. It's Korean-based army stew. And I will roll the footage of what I put in it right now. Okay, the only thing that you didn't see me put in is the noodles that are in here, the dumplings that are in here. You can sort of see it. And then there are rice cakes hiding in here. And also, I read the recipe wrong. I was supposed to use like stock and not just plain water. So I added a little bit of the ramen noodle powder to make some sort of stock-like flavor. Anyway, I am very excited. I have not made like authentic or whatever this, I don't think this is terribly authentic because I didn't use stock, but I have not made Budae Jjigae before. And I'm really excited. I'm hungry and I've got some rice over here, so I'm gonna put that right there because you're supposed to eat it with rice, even though they're noodles and rice cakes, so that's confusing. My heart rate is very high. Okay, so let's try the food first, right? Ooh, let's try the soup. Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. You can really taste the kimchi. Oh, some rice. Yeah. Now, guys, I'll just address like the elephant in the room. Obviously, my channel is more geared towards books and books, but I thought I would take a really cool concept of what I used to do in terms of mukbangs and bring you some short story spotlights. So I read a lot of short stories online, literally from Reddit, creepypasta, lots of different places. And I really think that some people, they put these stories online and like the content is great, but no one actually talks about like how well written some of these like online stories are. It's pretty amazing, honestly. Because even when I just try to jot down thoughts real quickly, it is just sometimes not the same as like writing out a full-length novel or something like that. Not that I've written a full-length novel, but anyway, I think these stories deserve a place on my channel because first of all, it's my channel and I'm gonna do what I want, but also because I think that these are really good stories. They're written well and they deserve some, light on them. So this story I actually found recently just surfing through Reddit, and I was amazed at how creeped out I was. And like I said in the beginning, I don't know. I think it's real and I'm afraid, but it's about a kid that is a true sociopath. So first, let's try this food. Oh, look at these noodles. The noodles turn out good. Oh my god. Oh, my sinuses. They're just all cleared out now. So spicy. Let's try a bit of tofu. Y'all, I'm the biggest fan of tofu. Also, I put these like little, because you're supposed to put like sausages or spam in kimchi or Budae Jiggae. And I found these like veggie frankfurters from the brand Field Rose. So I'm interested to see how it is. That's good. Yum. I'm into it. Oh, wow. Okay. One more bite and then we'll get into the story. And I will post everything about the story, well, just the story itself, in the description below. Guys, super good. I'm kind of proud of myself. All right, sorry, one more bite. Okay. So, this story starts with the social worker. We'll call him Jason. Jason has been working in social work for about 5 years now. And he typically works with, kids between 8 and 18. So minors mostly. And for the most part, he, can handle most cases without much trouble. But one day, he gets assigned this case of a boy named Chris. Now, Chris is sort of a problem child in the sense that, he likes to test boundaries, he makes people uncomfortable, and he sort of just likes to have control of a lot of situations. Nothing too crazy. Most of it is, like normal tween teenager stuff. Okay. So hot. Oh, rice cake. Really good. Well, before he starts his sessions with Chris, he goes to make a house call. Pretty normal. He just sort of wants to see what he's getting into. He goes to the house, and it's actually sort of an upper middle class house. It's not a mansion by any means, but definitely super nice. So sorry guys, my camera cut off. But so he goes to the house, and like I said, it's a very nice house, and he goes and talks to the family. Well, the family looks pretty normal, right? Stay-at-home mom, very nurturing, very loving, supportive. Father is a lawyer, has a good job, works from home, works in his study. So that's a pretty sweet setup for basically anyone. Now, when he goes around to talk to the family, he notices that, you know, the younger siblings are a little reserved. So that's really interesting. He doesn't know, he just has a feeling that, gosh, look at that bite. Ooh, kimchi. Mmm. Mm. He just has a feeling that the younger brothers are hiding something. So goes on to the first session, and he feels it from the moment that he meets Chris that something is a little strange about Chris, definitely a little off, and he's glad he's working on the case. At the end of the first session, Chris said something like, "I had fun today. I can't wait to see you again." For some reason that creeped Jason, the social worker, out so much. He was like, oh my God, okay. Look at this dumpling. Should we try the whole one? Might hurt my nails. Oh, dumpling is good. So months go by, sessions are happening, and the parents finally confess that things are not as they seem. And Jason is like, as a social worker, is like, well, duh. The mom confesses that, you know, the family is sort of at its wit's end. The mom is the one who's the closest to Chris, but, you know, it's starting to wear thin on her. She's the only one that can really get to him on a daily basis. Father tries to avoid him, stays in his study to do his work as much as possible, is kind of distant, really just doesn't jive well with Chris, right? And then, tofu is so good. You know, the mom basically admits that Chris basically runs the house. And when Jason gets to, you know, ask about the younger brothers, well, the younger brothers avoid him at all costs. They don't want anything to do with him. They're very scared of him. In the meanwhile, Chris is getting more and more open and progressing through these sessions, right? So, you know, he's opening up, and there's still something creepy that happens at the end of every session. At the end of every session, Chris says to Jason, make sure you're a good boy until the next time I see you. And he says it in like a baby voice. And, you know, Jason, the social worker, tries to play it off, minimizes it because it's creepy, it's weird, but, you know, what can he do? Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm so hungry. In the next couple of sessions, they talk about, you know, wanting pets. Chris talks about wanting a dog. He has always liked dogs, something like that. And it just becomes apparent to Jason, his social worker, that, you know, he really only wants a dog to control it. And Chris brings up the fact that he has never liked cats, doesn't like cats at all because he can't control them. He even confessed to the fact that the neighbor's cat used to bother him so much that he actually kicked the cat one day, and thankfully it ran away and stopped bothering him. So this is a big red flag to Jason. Like, because Chris is already sort of, you know, displaying these signs of like lack of empathy, manipulation, control of situations, excuse me, and now like remorseless harm to animals, it's such a big red flag, right? So Jason is concerned for sure. Jason turned this into a high priority case and just wanted to keep an eye on it. Those veggie frankfurters are so good. Wow. I'm really hungry. So one day, Jason pays another house call to Chris's house. It's winter now. Chris built a snow fort in the back, and he's playing with the neighbors and the brothers, you know, coppers and robbers, prisoners, whatever. So Chris shows Jason his little prison cell in the snow fort. And in the prison cell is a pile of animal bones. So Jason is immediately like, what the heck? What is this? And Chris is so sly. Right off the bat, he's like, oh, it's you know, carcass, skeleton bones. I'm an idiot. Bones of a squirrel that he found in his woods, in his backyard, in the woods. Which, to that, Jason was like, well, that's entirely possible. He does have woods in his backyard, and, you know, it's winter, so maybe the squirrel died. Rice is the best. Well, at a closer look, Jason notices that the skeleton in the snow fort is definitely not a squirrel. It's definitely in the shape of a cat. And so Jason immediately brings this up to Chris, and Chris just gets frustrated. He was like, all right, I'm taking away the bones. I'm removing it from the snow fort. What more do you want from me? And Jason is just so concerned because he's pretty sure that this is the neighbor's cat that Chris had talked about earlier, saying that he kicked it. At this point, guys, I'm reading this story and I'm like, why is this so stressful right now? This child is so creepy. Things progress even further. Jason gets a call one night around 9 o'clock, and it's from Chris's parents. They ask him to come over, and he goes over to the house, and they have discovered something. That night, Chris was found in his younger brother's room, sexually abusing him. So Chris looks actually scared. He begs for forgiveness. He looks contrite. He admits that he is sick and needs help. And this is a first because Chris is not apologetic or remorseful. So it's all very interesting. But Jason, the social worker, decides to call Child Protective Services. And so the next couple of days, he's waiting anxiously to hear about whether, you know, Chris has been removed from the household. Well, to his very big surprise and dismay, the case has been closed. And he had a feeling that Chris found a way to manipulate his family so that they would minimize the situation and Child Protective Services would just be called off, basically. So, in this turn of events, things start to improve. Chris starts to open up more to Jason. He seems to be progressing. He seems to even be making like friends at school, stuff like that, and he's behaving. It really feels like Chris is making a breakthrough. So, you know, at this point, Jason has had a really rough time with this case. He's been having nightmares, and it's been months and months of just like turmoil and like trying to figure out how to help how to help Chris and his family. And so now that Chris is doing better, the family moves into an even nicer house in a different neighborhood that is now out of Jason's jurisdiction, so to speak. So they have to sort of transition Chris onto a different social worker or social network, something like that. I don't understand how social work works. All that I know is that Jason can no longer be Chris's social worker. I feel like the rice is better. Like the noodles are good, the rice is better. Here's a dumpling, kimchi dumpling. Well, things are going well, right? Well, one night, late at night, not so late, maybe like 8 o'clock. Late for children, I guess. Jason gets a text from Chris's mom. It had been, well, it had been months. It had been at least a couple weeks since he heard from this family because he's no longer in charge of Chris. And the mother texts Jason, "We need help. Immediately, please come over right now. We need help." So Jason is at home trying to figure out what the heck to do. He could get in a lot of trouble if he interferes with a family that he's not in charge of. So he talks to his supervisor and they both agree that they just need to go ahead and call 911. So this all happens very quickly. 911 gets over there, the police get over there and they investigate, and then suddenly Jason gets a call. The police are like, "Listen, you need to come over right now." And Jason was like, "Okay." And at this point it's like, why? Why does he need to come over? Like, what's going on? Okay, rice is just, it's going in there. So Jason gets over there and he's just flabbergasted, guys, flabbergasted. No one is there and nothing is there. The house is there, you know, pretty much everything's intact except all of the essential things that, you know, essential belongings to the family are gone. The family is gone, no one is to be seen. And the weirdest thing is that there is still food on the dinner table, as if someone was there just recently and they all just left. Guys, at this point, I'm freaking out. When I'm reading this story, I'm like, oh my God, what do you mean? What do you mean? There's no one there. So I guess, you know, it doesn't really explain this in the story, but why he was called over there. I guess he was just supposed to take a look around, maybe help look for clues because he was the closest to the family. Talking about Jason here. Well, you know, Jason asked to be, you know, kept in the loop, make sure, you know, if they find anything, anyone, he would hopefully get a call from the police. And so Jason over the next couple of months checks in and nothing. The family has just disappeared. Y'all, I read this story very early in the morning and I was very, very alone and very scared and very caffeinated, mind you. Oh my God, like truly freaking out a whole lot. I just, like, what happened? And that was the end of the case. The case was closed. The family was never found, or at least that we know of. And the craziest thing is that I found this story on subreddit No Sleep. And at first I was like, this isn't real, this can't be real. But I read it over again and they said, the author said it was absolutely real and that the case was closed like 2 years ago or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, I'd have to look back. I'll include the links below, but I just thought there for a second, like what happened? And my guess, at least my guess would be like Chris maybe killed someone in the family and then he like made everyone pack up and go so that he wouldn't get caught. So the most chilling part of this story is the very last sentence. The author says something like, you know, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in demons. But the scariest thing is that people like Chris walk amongst us every day and they look like us. They're totally normal, or totally normal looking rather. I don't even know how to feel about that, guys. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed that story. I really enjoyed the story. And I'm always amazed at the sort of quality of content that like random people like me and you put onto the internet. And like they write it really well. And I saw in the comments that the author was like, I wish I could write it better. It's just from my memory. And I just remember thinking, write more, please. Like, please. And it's just stuff like that I really think that more people don't pay enough attention to. There's a lot of like big press for, you know, big books and novels and famous releases and stuff like that, but people are sleeping on some good short stories on the internet. So if you enjoyed this little series, or rather this episode, I could turn it into a series. Let me know down below. Maybe I'll be eating all the time in them, maybe I won't, maybe I'll just be having snacks and coffee with you. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your suggestions, comment down below. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna eat this. I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you always know when I've got good things coming to you. Bye, y'all.